What's going on, guys? It's Ranty Marshall back with another video, gracing your screens with my face today, as we have some little special for you guys today, as we finally got our invite to the NAWCQ in July, as we recently this past weekend got top 32 at the Columbus Regional, placing 18th with Tenpai Sky Strikers. Now it's gonna be a little longer of a video, so I'm gonna get right into it, but if you guys wanted to skip ahead of, the matchups, the shoutouts, etc., I'll leave a little annotation right here for you guys. But starting off with the shoutouts, first and foremost, I want to give honor to God who's ahead of my life, then to the love of my life. Love you, appreciate you for everything you do. You don't even play this card game, but just here listen to all my theories, my play testing, my strategies, everything, even planning out this trip to go to Columbus and everything. So huge shout out, and like I said, I love you very, very much. Huge shout out to my teammates, King Frage and Big Rail. You guys have always been there for me since day one. Even we made this channel with just us three at first as an idea, a vision. And you guys always been there for me, even a little punching bag sometimes. I've been your punching bag sometimes. You guys helped me, like I said, theorize this deck and everything. And I wanted to quit the game a little sooner than this, but I'm gonna stay in it until you guys get that invite as well. So then huge shout out to Sonny, the best card dealer in the world, and the boys at Eternal Games. I also want to give a shout out to the boys at Hyperion Games in Taylor, Michigan. Sean, Brad, love you guys. Huge shout out to Gary Gass, the guy who constantly got me on Sky Strikers. Huge inspiration and a mentor. Even though he wasn't playing Sky Strikers himself, he did get top 3. So man, huge shout outs to you. You're doing the big as always. Huge shout outs to my boys Kyle and Virgil, who kept me going despite the constant setbacks. Every region I went to before this has always been an X3 finish. It's always been outside top 32, outside top 48. This time around, we guaranteed it. We got right in there. And then finally, huge shout out to my boy Marcus Fairley, who's not with us anymore. But love the man, great spirit, did this for you. Rest in power. And moving on to the matchups, we had 8 rounds of Swiss, over 200 players. Top 32 was the cut. First round, we played against Brad from Hyperion, who was on Tier Elements. Again, I want to say this on camera. I said it in person as well. I am sorry. I did not set this up. There is no way 2 guys who knew each other from Michigan should have been playing each other first round of the regional in Ohio. I felt bad, so I had to try to win that for you, and luckily we got there. I don't know if you got there. I hope you did, though, because I feel really bad about that one. But we ended up winning that one 2-0. Second round, we played against Pure Melodious. Thanks to, again, huge shout outs to Kyle, who helped me out with this matchup, to teach me the high points, low points of the deck, and where I can actually hit it at, the choke points and everything, because it came in handy. Actually won that one 2-1. Third round was basically a bye, I'm be honest with you. We played against Snake Eyes. The deck is built for Snake Eyes, so that was not an issue whatsoever. Round 4, we played against Voice's Voice. Ended up losing that one, unfortunately, 1-2. We had everything we could possibly want against that deck. The issue was I did not have him on a Schism in game 3 because I haven't seen it in games 1 and 2. So when he flipped up a Schism after me breaking his entire board trying to go for game, and went for a Winda, Hornet Jones kind of just loses to that immediately. So it is what it is. Round 5, we played against Ubel. We won the first game pretty handily, but after that it was like 2 long grind games under skill drain. Game 3. We had him all the way down to, I believe, 1,300 life points. No, 750 life points. And he ended up Nibiru on us, which I didn't have him on at all. Like I said, the whole set. And he ended up getting to a combo piece to basically go for game. So that one sucked, but it is what it is. Couldn't really do anything about that one. In round 6, this is probably our funnest matchup of the day. We played against a guy who was playing Madolches. We ended up winning that one, though honestly, it should have been a 2-0. It was a misplay on my part. I dropped his whole entire board in game 1 and totally forgot about that when I went to battle phase, swinging over his monsters, because basically some of his monsters had, destruction and protection effects, battle protection effects, but they were negated, so they shouldn't have actually been protected. And I mean, not realizing that it kind of cost me the game. I didn't realize until like literally game 2, but it's fine. It worked out in the end. Round 7, we played against Voice's Voice. We didn't make the same mistake as before. We actually handled this one pretty easily. Huge shout out to my head boy Kwakimaru Drago, who handled this guy easily in game 2. I didn't know if I was going first or going second, so I just put it in just to be safe. It feels good to lock out somebody who's playing lights and dark strictly when you're playing nothing but fire. So you literally just go full combo, set up their link plays, break their board and everything, and they're still sitting under this floodgate that they just cannot out. So Drago, huge MVP for that one. In our last round, we're playing against my boy Tim from Eternal, who is on Fluanderies, always on Fluanderies. Please teach my boy Big Bro how to play this deck so he can get the tops and invites you get. But we ended up winning that one 2-1. It was pretty fun. I honestly think I only won that one because he didn't have Featherstorm game 3, and I don't think he saw Shifter at all in any of the games, unless he sided it out, because like most people sided out against Tenpai. But no, it was a really good game. Literally, game 3 came down to me breaking his whole entire board with one card left in hand. It was my quick play. So I went to battle phase, activated the quick play. I'm like, okay, if he has Ash or anything, I basically just lose and he wins this one. But he had nothing left. It was like, oh, that was the ice on the cake right there for my day, for sure. Like I said before, we ended up going 6-2, got 18th place. All right, guys, so we'll get right into the deck profile now. Let's start off with the monsters. Aren't many of them, so keep that in mind. Start with the standard stuff, playing triple Padra. Best card in the deck. Hands down, it's the Shoutouts for the deck. Definitely got to play 3 of, no questions asked. Also has a little effect people don't realize where it protects you from battle damage with your fire dragons, which comes up every once in a while. So that's pretty neat as well. And also keep in mind you can set your field spell or set your quick play or any spell traps you have that can be searched. They don't necessarily have to be added to your hand, so you can play around draw with that. Keep that in mind. And then moving on, we're also playing Shiprul of our Chandra. This is also pretty standard. If you control a fire dragon, especially this from your hand. And then when a fire dragon battles, you can special summon another Tenpai from deck. Not much really saying about this one. This one is the tuner for the deck right now. Then we're playing double Fadra. This is basically our Monster Reborn for the deck. It also has a neat ability like with Chandra, where if you're one of your fire dragons battle, you can also get the special from graveyard as well. Not just from normal special in itself, which is pretty neat. They all have the, I should mention this beforehand, but they all have the quick effect to synchro summon in the battle phase, and this is not a once per turn. So one guy had to call a judge to confirm it, but yes, that effect to synchro summon is not once per turn at all. So keep that in mind. And it also gives battle protection for all of your fire dragons as well. They came to show in battle, so that's pretty neat. And then our last 2 monsters are just honorary Tenpais are Magnamud and Drillsworm. Magnamud's pretty standard for a deck like this. Like I said, it's not many monsters in the deck, and literally all of your monsters in the main deck can be searched by the Magnamud. So I decided to add just the Drillsworm as well for like little board breaking effect and the little pseudo hand trap. But technically these are the only 2 hand traps we're playing in the deck. But that's gonna wrap it up for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. Start off with triple thinking common. Card is custom, is busted. It's already a searcher and a quick play on top of that. But in the battle phase, you could also special summon a fire dragon from your hand. So this comes up pretty clutch where you burn your whole entire hand and break boards, and then you have the common go into battle phase. Search a Fadra, a Chandra, whatever, special to the board, and it's basically OTK from there. Definitely love this card. And then we're playing obviously triple sinking summoning. Don't use the search effect very often. Like most times when I do use it, it's just basically to bait somebody out because we already have like a body in hand, or we have like a horn drone or something like that can get us into the link line anyway. It's more so there for the protection. But sometimes you do have to do that search, and if you get ogred or something, it sucks, but it is what it is. Still definitely a 3 of, hands down. And then obviously the standard one, terraforming for it. Then power spells, we're playing triple droplet, triple talents, triple thrust, 2 cosmic, 2 lightning storm, 1 call by the grave, and 1 harpy feather duster. Not much really to say about these. These basically all came in pretty clutch when they were used. The cosmics I was actually siding at first, but I had 2 extra spaces, and it was either prosperity or that. And I honestly don't feel like I need prosperity in this deck whatsoever, the way I build it personally. Because the way it works, you get so much advantage off of interacting with your opponent if they have hand traps or a full board. Because usually that's the way that this deck works. I usually let them get their full board, and I just break the board from there. You have so much interaction with your opponent's board, where talents can draw to, thrusts can get any cards you need, lightning storm breaks boards, and then spice we have at the end with the engage and everything. It's basically board break or extend and draw a card if you got 3 spells in grade, which most times you obviously do. So the costumes were pretty clutch for what they were. Call by, I'll explain a little bit more when I get to the spice with the Sky Striker package. Harvest Feather Duster, just another lightning storm. It came up pretty solid every once in a while, especially against Voice's Voice. It basically baits a negate right off rip because they have all the back row set up. So if you Harpy Feather Dust, they're basically kind of forced to negate theirs to keep their protection up and keep their pop and everything. And Droplet as well. I'm gonna have to keep it in for any time I play this deck. Droplet is so clutch. Yeah, it might conflict with Shifter if you're playing a pure build, but I still would probably consider siding or manning it either way. And finally, moving on to the spice. The last 8 cards in the deck is the Sky Striker package. We're playing triple engage, triple Widow Anchor, 1 Hornet Drones, and 1 Shark Cannon. No complaints about this package. This package did work. Either it was baiting hand traps, it was baiting interactions, it was breaking boards, or it was generating advantage for me where opponent just scoop basically off of that alone. But shout out to Explain Engage. Like you saw, it's a 30 spell main deck, so yeah, that's already self-explanatory there. But as far as the Widow Anchor, it's just basically the way to interact with my opponent when they try to make plays on my turn, and I can just take their monsters. And if it's fire, like Fire Kings or Snake Eyes, etc., it just basically helps make my link line set up, or I can synchro with their monsters and stuff like that. It makes it a whole lot easier to OTK. As far as Shark Cannon, it was here for Voice's Voice as well as Snake Eyes, and that's why we only played one of it because we had the Call by the Grave as well. So I felt no need to play multiples of this one. But Hornet Drones is pretty amazing in this deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Starting off with the links. For the link ones, we're playing 1 Kagari and 1 Striker Dragon. I wanted to play more Sky Striker links, but it never really came up for me. Like, I don't own the SP Little Knight anymore, so definitely had no reason to play multiples of these. This one was just perfectly fine. Because this plus a Hornet Drones can get you into your Hida or your Dark. And then Striker Dragon is basically here for you to pivot one of your Tenpai Dragons into a Dark, so we can go into a Dark link. Because against Yubel, against Voice's Voice, etc., when there are actual Dark attributes and no fires, it makes it easier for you to do the link climb anyway. So that's why I play those. Then moving on to the link 2s, we're playing, like I said before, 1 Dark, 1 Hida, and 1 Heretic Seals. These 2 were just basically to help climb into your Princess, then get to your link plays. Also ways it gets back into the game if we need to like crash, like I said, for example, the Hida to search for a Tenpai monster and like that. Heretic Seals usually are in board for when we go first, stuff like that. And then sometimes if we don't OTK our opponent, which was very, very non-existent, we end on the Seals, just a way to disrupt our opponent. And then the rest of the links are just the OTK link line, which was Princess, Raging Phoenix, and then Zelantis. I went to this so many times where it's like I just eat D barriers, like okay, that's cool, whatever. I was just link climb into this, get like 2 or 3 pops off of it, and then still swing for game with follow up. And a lot of people did not realize that this popping effect is not just strictly on my turn, it's during any battle phase. So I will set this up and they're like, okay, cool, whatever. Find some way to like survive barely. Try to go to battle phase in their turn, still get 2 pops. Like what? Yeah, it's co-link still, I get 2 pops. So definitely want to take this out, would definitely recommend this if you're gonna play this deck. So I realize most people are like just playing like a heavier synchro package because they're playing like a bunch of hand traps with cross out, D barrier in the side and stuff like that. But the way we play this deck and the way that we built the deck is more so for link climbing as well. So that's why you're gonna see a very, very minimalistic side of these synchro package. For the synchro, starting with the synchro 7s, we're playing the standard Black Rose. You gotta play that in this deck. Then Meteor Burst, pretty amazing card as well. Opponent can activate their monster effects in the battle phase. 1 Samurai Destroyer, never went into this. It was strictly here for Yubel, because when our last region I went to in Detroit, I ended up X3. And one of my losses that really cost me was to Yubel, and it wasn't even close. Played that 1 Yubel player at this regional, never went into this, never seen the reason to go into it, especially under skill drain. But I'm gonna keep it in because I'm expecting to see this a lot at Nationals or at NAWCQ, especially with the release of info giving us Yubel Fiendsmith. So yeah. And then our last 7s are 2 Joe Bidens. the President of the United States. Huge shout outs to him. This boy put in work today. Not much more I can really say about it. It was a monster reborn. You can summon itself back out, pop a card in the field, which became a clutch sometimes, so you have to pop your own field spell to boost him up. Yeah, it's nothing really bad I can say about this card. This card is pretty amazing, and it's a synchro tuner, so it's like the best card this deck can get as far as a synchro monster. Last part of our extra deck, which is synchro 10s, one Transcendent and one Trident Dragon. Story about this Trident Dragon: I was not trying to get an all T1. This is the only one that Sonny had left. And being the negotiator, the card dealer he is, he gave me a little deal on it, and I definitely went and ran and bought it. So no, I did not ask a friend. I asked my best friend, Sonny Her. But seriously, no, this card did work today. It won me so many games I shouldn't have won, especially against Voiceless Voice. In game 1, he set up a big board. So we had to go into Dragon, popping just the field spell alone, getting the Trident Dragon to 6,000, getting 2 swings in to just end the game right then and there. This card, honestly, if you're playing Tenpai, I'm sorry, I feel like you have to play this card. It's all this deck can ask for as far as an OTK line to get you in and out of the games as soon as possible. And then along with Transcendent, amazing card. People do not rate this card whatsoever. It literally says, hey, if you go into battle phase and all your monsters are in attack position, they all have to swing. If they're weaker than this guy, you're about to have a long turn. But besides that, the fact that it literally says your opponent can activate any effects in the battle phase is amazing. There's been times where I literally synchro summoned this in main phase 1 under the Singing Summon, and then went to battle phase with the quick play. Activate the quick play, somebody tried to ask me like, you can't do that, sir. This card says you can't activate anything in the battle phase. Then finally move on to the side deck. Honestly, it's a work in progress, but it came up. When it came up, it came up. It did what it had to do. Starting off with the monsters, playing triple Ash Blossom, triple Ghost Ogre, triple Mourner, 1 Druid's Worm, and 1 Draco. We'll cover the hand traps real quick. I just wanted to play the most generic hand traps I could possibly play or side in to the deck. I feel like this is a good monster mitigation on our opponent's turn, really good against Snake Eyes. This is for the mirror match, and in some cases you could use this against Voice's Voice. Ash, I shouldn't have to explain. Druid's Worm, another form of board breaking. Interaction is like with Voice's Voice, stuff like that, makes this really viable. So basically, we usually decide to send when we don't know if we're going to go first or going second. Take out the the hard going second cards like Lightning Storms, Harpy Feathers, etc. And side in these. So we end up with like 12 hand traps in the main when we needed to, or against matches where we feel like we had to play hand traps. And then let's say give the spotlight to Drago, which put in work today, honestly, against Ubel, against Voice's Voice, when I was actually able to set it up. This card is amazing. And then it's like having the ability to have a Magnamud search for a Druid's Worm and just constantly reveal a Druid's Worm every single turn and keep your opponent locked under this, it's pretty amazing. I really had no complaints about this card whatsoever. Literally, I can play my whole entire deck while having this just sit there, and I'm like, oh, you're still here? Yeah, this card's amazing. And finally, the last cards of the side deck, third Cosmic and 3 D barriers. Usually side this in when I'm going first. Like I know for a fact I'm going first. No complaints about this. Card totally should be banned, honestly, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Now, as far as the NAWCQ, I am still going to be playing Tenpai, that's for a fact. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best route to play for the deck. I'm torn between some kind of Tenpai Skytracker build remaining or going into a Tenpai Cash build or a pure Tenpai build. But especially with the release of our own personal Poplar and Genroku, the deck's gonna look really, really good, but it's gonna have a lot more competition as well. But that's been my deck profile. Like I said, huge shout out to everybody who supported me and everybody who supports the channel. Love you guys. But it's been Tenpai signing out. Peace and have a great day.